Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the 2021 update on Village Center. And as you know, Village Center includes Village Academy as well as the historic Carver High School, also known as Delray Full Service Center. Next slide. But I ask that we just take a moment before we delve into this complex work that we are going to share today. I want us to just take a moment. We've been through and remain in some trying times. So I ask that we just take a breath and count our blessings and to send prayers and well wishes for those who are not as blessed as we are. And I ask that you also lift up our thanks for them finding our student, Mia Brailford, alive and apparently well. So if we can just take a moment. Thank you. And so next, we will hear from our outstanding educational leader at Village Academy and followed by the person I call the lead visionary for Village Center. If we can start with Miss Latoya Dixon.
Good evening, everyone. I bring you greetings from the Village Academy, located in the heart of Delray Beach. And I am just extremely excited tonight to share some updates on what's been happening at Village Academy. I can't wait till I get to those slides just to share what we've been doing here. And I want to thank you all for allowing me this time tonight.
Good evening. My name is Chuck Ridley, and I have the privilege of being the chair of West Atlantic Redevelopment Coalition. We now call ourselves the Coalition. And this vision that we call Village Center really comes out of the belly of our community. We're so proud of it. It is really the return to the historic Carver High School. And because of the way community dream, we didn't have we're not educators, so we didn't know that our dream shouldn't be embraced, like it wouldn't be like mainstream. It wasn't no best practice to show what we did, but our dream said, what would happen if our children were brought back to our community and we build a complex that starts at the cradle, 3 months old, and then go to career and beyond? What could happen to our children? And this was a quarter of a century ago. And back then, some thought partners came together, thought partners that are part of the school district, the city of Delray, philanthropic groups that came together and said, well, let's go find out. Now, this is what can happen when community leads the way, and we partner with folk who are willing to be thought partners and come up with a vision. Quarter of a century later, we are building on the last phase, and we are so excited. So I want to thank Dr. Robinson for her leadership over the last 20 years. And I want to thank all of you who have supported, particularly the community, who supported this vision. Dr. Robinson is giving me the side eye, which means it's time for me to shut up.
So very good. So moving on to the purpose of today's meeting. So we've had many of these meetings before. The first is to support the community's vision by creating an education center that not only educates, but supports community wealth building. Secondly, to update the community on the work that's taken place since our last meeting. And thirdly, to check in to be certain that we are working in alignment with the community's vision. So again, as you will see, their Village Center, when we refer to it, includes Village Academy, pre-K through 12, as well as the adult education program currently housed at Delray Full Service Center, also known as Historic Carver High School, as well as some components of the Catherine Strong Park. So before we go on, though, I need to take a moment to thank some people that you won't see in this presentation, but behind the scenes did a great deal of work to make sure that this went off without a hitch despite me and my technical inadequacies, right? So I want to thank Tony Lynn Bellata, who is my executive assistant, my right hand, Dr. Glenda Sheffield, who's our chief academic officer, and Dr. Geraldine Johnson, who I never keep title straight. I think is director of choice and career. So now we can move on to greetings from the Palm Beach County School District. So let me start because you will not see our superintendent on this call today, and that is because somehow, with all my technical skills, I managed to not put the calendar invite on his calendar. So I apologize to you from me and from the superintendent. But he is very much supportive of the project. And just to tell you how supportive, I know that this project was going to be over budget, and somehow he managed to work it out. And so he's supportive, and I thank him for that support. And we're going to now move on to hear a few words from our chief operating officer, followed by our deputy superintendent, and then our chief of staff.
Hi, good evening. I'm Joseph Sanchez. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Palm Beach County School District. I'm Joseph Sanchez. It's a pleasure to be here as a member of the senior staff for the school district. I just want to assure you, the public, that you have our full support. My staff you're going to be hearing from later on today, as well as the architect who work underneath me. We're going to make sure that Village Academy, this Village Center project is going to be a tremendous success for the entire community. So thank you, and look forward to the presentation tonight.
Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to spend some time with you this evening, and I'm certainly grateful to Dr. Robinson for giving me a few minutes to make some very brief comments. I want to commend the people attending this meeting and the entire community for the passion around this project. I can't think of another project on the district horizon that is eliciting such passion from community members. Dr. Robinson regularly talks about the portrait of a graduate, which is back mapping what we want our graduates to be able to do and the credentials we want them to have from their senior year all the way back to pre-K. I see that same philosophy in these plans. Start with high wage, high demand jobs and work backwards to best support our students, our communities, and help our students live the lives that they want to live. I'm grateful to be here, and I very much look forward to this presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, Team Palm Beach. This is Jay Bogus, a Chief of Staff here at the school district. I'm really looking forward to unveiling some of the work that's being done behind the scenes and in front of the scenes for Team Palm Beach, and really knowing that as we fulfill our mission of education, aspiration, and inspiration, the idea that we're going to be able to not only fulfill brick and mortar as part of this project, but also the opportunity of hope and advancement for all students here in Palm Beach, K-12, and then our adult learners, upskilling and reskilling the next generation workforce. So looking forward to that. And again, thank you, Dr. Robertson, for your leadership and this community rallying around this idea for many, many years and many years to come.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Team Palm Beach, right? So, and now we're going to move on to hear a few words of greeting from our city partners, the mayor and then vice mayor of the city of Delray Beach.
Well, hello, everyone, and greetings from Delray Beach. It's very exciting to be here tonight, and I think I'm going to be sharing some things with you a little bit later on, so I'm just going to keep my greeting very brief and just say thank you all so much for having me here tonight, and I look forward to watching the presentations and also being able to speak a little bit later on in the meeting.
Good evening. I'm Shirley Johnson, Vice Mayor here in Delray Beach. Welcome to Delray Beach, even virtually. Thank you. I'd like to rather thank Dr. Robinson and everyone who has played a part in having this informational update for the Village Center, located in the very heart of historic Delray Beach. I believe that I'm probably the only one on the greeting list who actually graduated from historic Carver High School. So without further ado, welcome. I look forward to every bit of tidbit that we can learn tonight. And with that said, I thank you very much.
And thank you to both the mayor and vice mayor and the other members of the collaborative effort that are from Delray Beach. And now we're going to move on to our community, our county partners. I'm not sure if our county commissioner, Mac Bernard, has made it on, but I know we have our county administrator, Virginia Baker. And oh, there he is, County Commissioner, Mac Bernard.
Good evening, everybody. Dr. Robinson, I've been on the call. Thanks for having me on the call. The only thing is, Vice Mayor Shirley Johnson stated that she's the only person who graduated from Carver High School, but my age, I'm a little bit younger, so I went to Carver Middle School. So Village Center is so important to me, and because I remember my days in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade at Carver Middle School. And I'm just looking forward to hearing the vision for Village Center and to see whatever that we can do in the county to make sure that this is a successful project that can be done, because this will continue to improve the lives of the residents that live in Delray Beach and in the surrounding community. So thank you for having me. I look forward to listening to the conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson, for inviting me to bring greetings. And I do bring greetings. I'm excited about the progress that has been made and looking forward to the update today on the Village Center project, which I'm excited because I do believe that we've got to grow our own, and that is exactly what you're doing. And I know with your leadership and your vision that we're going to be definitely able to accomplish it. We are now known as Wall Street South. We're also known as the Florida Silicon Valley. And what you're preparing our kids for today is to fill the jobs that we are now investing and bringing into Palm Beach County. So I am extremely excited about what's happening with Village Center. So again, thank you, and I look forward to the update.
And thank you both. I had hoped that we would have greetings from Palm Beach State College this evening. I know that President Dr. Ava Parker was not able to make it, and she was going to ask her provost to participate, but I think we had some technical problems that I'm going to say were user error, right? So we're going to move on, and if the provost joins us, then we will figure that out so that we can hear from him as well. So now we're going to go ahead and move forward. So let's set the stage. Those of you that have participated in these meetings before have seen the next few slides, but I think it's always important to remind ourselves of how far we've come. The plans that you will see tonight, the work that you will see in progress in this presentation really stands on the shoulders of generations of community members working together and pushing to have better educational and other life outcomes for the residents of Delray Beach. This is an abbreviated chronology highlighting the work that preceded this meeting. So we could go to the next slide, please. And I want to make a special point of thanking the voters of Palm Beach County who approved the 1-cent sales tax in November of 2016. So half of that penny was allocated to the school district to address backlogs and maintenance and a few construction projects. And approximately $10 million of that was allocated for improvements at Delray Full Service Center. Now, moving on, we've had numerous meetings. Here we captured the dates of 6 meetings similar to this one that were held to discuss as a collective where we wanted to go with this Village Center project. Next slide, please. And in April of 2018, we reached a consensus that what we wanted was to save the gym for educational and cultural purposes, and that the cafeteria would not be demolished until we knew for certainty that the gym could be restored. And if it could not, that the cafeteria would be restored. In addition, we would have a 20,000 square foot multi-purpose building. So you will see how that building has evolved in terms of its future use. We want an athletic practice field, and that was how Catherine Strong got into the Village Center concept. And also, just to make note, and I kept it on this slide because using the underground areas for water storage came out of some of these community meetings. And so that's just one major thing that I want to acknowledge in terms of changing how we planned to move forward with this project. Like, we heard you, right? And so then out of those meetings, we decided, next slide, please, that that we wanted to make sure that we focused on high wage, high demand. Um, there we go. High wage, high demand um, skills, right? And so here are the skills that we wanted to make sure that we developed at Village Center. IT, computer technology, right? The medical academies, construction trades, and the commercial driver's license. So this is the intersection of high wage, high demand. Next slide. And this is the model that we decided to focus on. You've heard it before. We visited Atlantic Tech and other technical colleges in Broward County primarily, and they had 3 different ways of entering the program. You could enter in 9th grade as a choice student, if you will, from Village Academy. Regional programming, so that students who attend Atlantic High School or other schools could have their core classes at their home school and come to Village Academy for their specialty training. And then thirdly, the adult education program. So that's the model that we're working with, and you will see it starting to come forward. And then the next slide. So after that meeting, then we did visit the Construction Academy at Seminole Ridge High School. We worked with and harassed district staff, both in choice, career and technical education, as well as teaching and learning, as well as with facilities. Thank you. And so now, before we go on to hear from the heart of Village Center, which is Village Academy, our provost from Palm Beach State College has joined us. And so we'd like to hear a few words from him.
Hey, good evening, Dr. Robinson. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Van Williams, the new provost for the Boca Raton campus, Palm Beach State College. Looking forward to working with you and the community in terms of how we can advance not only the community, but move the needle for young people in the community. Thank you so much.
Good, thank you. And thank you for your perseverance in joining us after you've overcome my technical difficulties.
Not a problem.
All right. So, and now we're going to move on to hear from our academic leader at Village Center.
Well, hello again, everyone. And I bring you greetings again from Village Academy. And while I am just so excited, Dr. Robinson, thank you for, setting up the stage. The bar is extremely high, but when I tell you, I've got the bubblies going on over here in my tummy, because I, again, am just so privileged and excited about being the principal of Village Academy. And before I get into what I want to share about what's been happening, I do want to just thank the leaders, as you have done, but I can't do this without the leaders that support our district, from Mr. Burke to Dr. Sheffield to my instructional leader in the South region, Dr. Summer, and Dr. Robinson. Thank you as our board member who has been so supportive. And I cannot forget the community of Delray Beach, city officials, the coalition. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to the faculty and staff, the parents that also make up the heart of Village Academy. This is a heavy lift for us. And going into my 6th year as the principal of this great school, I cannot say that the support has been very solid. And I am looking forward to, as our district says, it's our time to shine. So next slide, please, as I get ready to share how we are shining down at Village Academy. I need to start off by sharing our vision and our mission statement. This is basically the why and what we're doing. So at Village Academy, I want to share that we believe that our students are curious, they're creative, they're capable, and they are rich in potential. Our vision is to create a culture where students that enter Village Academy discover their own voice, their sense of purpose. They're empowered to become scholarly stewards of their community and planet, and they'll be well prepared for post-secondary success. So to take that a little bit further, students that enter the doors at Village Academy are ready for college, career readiness. They build a solid foundation and individual determination through our AVID program. We also are, solidifying those foundational skills where every student that passes through Village Academy will have an opportunity and experience accelerated courses either through ACE or dual enrollment courses. Next slide. So basically, students get an opportunity to have an experience where they have an opportunity to work through real world problems through the lens of their identity, diversity, justice, and action. So through this learning paradigm, students will be defined as digital citizens. You'll see as we get further into the slide, investigators, artists, advocates, critical thinkers, and of course, community leaders, advocates, and activists. Next slide. So here you look at this picture right here, and this is sort of like, I like to call this as, like our reminder, our why. So as we develop students through our program, here's what we're thinking. We're thinking, what are we doing to prepare our students for the future? So you see student A, you have math, science, English, and social studies. And then over next to this one, you have student B. As you can see, this picture is brighter, it's more colorful. And here we're getting deeper into content mastery, communication, collaboration, all things that our students need for 21st century thinking skills and those skills that are needed for the job force. Next slide. So I know it's cliche to say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I also like to say that showing is better than telling. So I want to share a video with you all. This is actually Village Academy at work. So this video is about 2 or 3 minutes long. I want you to just tune in and take a look at what is living and well at Village Academy.
Welcome to Village Academy in Delray Beach.
When you think about Village, you think about family, you think about community, and that's what we are here.
Village Academy is home to preschoolers and students in elementary, middle, and high school. The opportunity to attend one school allows students to feel comfortable with the campus, the coursework, and the caring teachers.
Your child will have an experience from the cradle all the way to college.
The outstanding teachers at Village Academy provide students with personalized attention. They utilize project-based learning and encourage working together in small teams.
We want our students to be activists. We want them to be investigators, to be scientists.
Village is an AVID school of distinction. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. The goal is to prepare students for post-secondary success by helping them become strong readers and writers, and teaching them note-taking and how to stay organized.
The interactive experiences that we provide our students really provides them with those 21st century skills.
Skills like computer coding and digital design. The students believe the computer coursework will help them achieve their academic goals.
It helps me globally compete in my career.
I get to learn very much information, and that information could lead to good job experiences.
Village Academy also puts a major emphasis on mental health.
We take the time to help students to get in tune with their emotions, how they're feeling. We give them coping strategies. We talk about how to problem solve and how to have tolerance for their peers.
Among the Village Academy success stories is NFL player Traquan Smith of the New Orleans Saints.
Village Academy did so much for me, and honestly, I'm just so happy to be a Tiger and always will be a Tiger.
Students past and present appreciate the great team at Village Academy, who work hard to ensure these Tigers roar.
We truly believe that our students' power, their potential, and their pride can be developed right here, that when they leave Village Academy, they become scholarly stewards of the community and the planet that they live in, and they are well prepared for post-secondary success.
Thank you. So as you can see, our Tigers are really roaring at Village Academy, and what you see before you is just a visual of the pathway. It's very critical that when students join us, that they move through the pathway, and it's designed in such a way to ensure that when our students leave Village Academy, they're ready for post-secondary success. Next slide. So as I get a little bit further into what I'm sharing with you guys tonight in regards to our development at Village Academy, what we've learned in our journey, as Dr. Robinson had mentioned earlier, that, we spent a lot of time prior to getting here, visiting some of what I like to call some of the powerhouse computer science programs across our district. And that's what's just so beautiful about Palm Beach County. And I've learned a lot on this journey. And what we are continuing to foster and put in place at Village Academy is a strong pathway for our students so that they are ready for those rigorous courses and accelerated courses. So as you can see here, here's a little timeline that shows how we are providing our students with those strong foundational skills so that their math skills will be where they need to be, especially when students are going into those computer science type courses. Next slide. The next slide you see here is our secondary pathway. So this pathway is set up for our middle and high school students, that by the time our students are ready to graduate or close to their junior and senior year, as mentioned, students will have an opportunity to take career themed courses or either take dual enrollment courses either at Palm Beach State College or some of our local colleges here. So this is really awesome. As you see, we have a partnership already with Palm Beach State College. So again, we start at Village Academy from the cradle to college. And as you can see from the previous video that was shared, some really great students, great careers are coming right out of Village Academy. Next slide. And I'd just like to mention here, this is a visual presentation of our curriculum cornerstone. So as you see, there's 4 of them here. At the elementary level, our students kind of move through our project-based learning piece. There's a service learning component. Not only are academics important, but we want to produce students that know the value of giving back to their community, coming back to their community, and being the change that they want to see right in their surrounding areas. And then you have the information computer science component and also the digital citizenship piece. So all those pieces come together like a puzzle so that when our students leave Village Academy, we've actually fulfilled, I think, what Mr. Tierney was talking about, the portrait of a graduate. Next slide. So here is the digital citizenship component again. Next slide, please. And here, this program focuses on our K-5 students where they begin their project-based learning and digital citizenship piece here. So if this is your first time hearing about project-based learning, that video that you saw earlier is a took in a couple of pictures or live shots of some of the PBL work that our students are doing. So through this project-based learning work, our students basically take a project that they work on over an extended period of time from maybe a week or up to a semester. So through that, the students engage in solving real-world problems and answering complex questions. So again, this supports students as they move through this learning continuum at Village Academy. They get an opportunity to develop deep content knowledge. They're developing their critical thinking skills, of course, collaborating, being creative, and improving upon their communication skills, and of course, their technological literacy skills. Next slide. So in the video, again, you saw the end result of some of the project-based learning components for that. Next slide. And here are some still pictures of our project-based learning at work. This was an exciting time for our students. They actually grew, they planted seeds and developed their own community garden, and talked about the importance of how food moves from the field from the garden to the table. Really great experience. It was so great to hear our students share how we should consider growing our own fruits and vegetables in lieu of going to shop at Publix and Walmart. So you guys have to catch our next exhibition. Our students are really learning a lot through these project-based learning experiences. Next slide. Here's a photo of our older students. We have an opportunity to, have experience with hands-on learning here. Our students are working with a circuit project here. And again, these are opportunities that our students are getting as they're getting further into their studies around the computer science and the STEM component. Next slide. So at the middle school and high school level here, our students start with information technology. And the next couple of slides that you'll see, you can go ahead and move to the next slide, sort of breaks down the program's components for our middle school students. So here, this program basically meets the needs of students with talent and passion to approach learning through an inquiry-based framework and discovering how to solve real-world problems through innovation and creativity. So students will approach learning again through an inquiry framework that infuses information technology, including software applications such as coding and engineering, and the students are enrolled in this pre-IT program here at Village. So you can see they're in blue on the side. They're working on technology communications, spreadsheets, word processing, multimedia presentations, web development and design, understanding how computer hardware and the computer software works as well, and computer networking. Next slide. So here's this unpacks the 6th grade experience as well. There's different pieces, so computing, communications, multimedia, word processing, and so on. You can go ahead and move to the next one. And here are the components for our students as they move on to 7th grade. So here, it gets a little bit more complex here. Our students are understanding HTML fundamentals, structures, and the documents for HTML, as well as understanding CSS fundamentals and style web pages using SCC. And you might be going, Mrs. Dixon, what are you talking about? HTML? But really, we're producing students that give us an opportunity to use some of the technology that we're using tonight. When you're surfing on the internet and you're able to access certain web pages, this is the computer language that our students are learning as they're going through our programs. Next slide. Here's the component for our 8th grade students, just another level of what I just mentioned here for our 8th grade students. On to the next slide. And then we're moving into the high school industry certification program. So our students, as you can see, they're moving through a continuum here. So for our 9th through 12th grade students, digital information technologies here, the curriculum is designed for students who wish to become content creators and contributors of digital technologies in this new binary era that we're in. So when our students reach this point, what we are instilling in our students is not only do we want them to be able to read programming, we want our students to be the writers of programming. So here is where this gets to kind of shape itself out. And our students at this level, the 9th and through the 12th grade level, will be able to earn their industry certification. Next slide. So here are some examples of what the students will have as they complete the programming. So after successfully completing the program, the students will be able to perform the following items listed here. They'll be able to use computer applications to produce digital media or multimedia projects, create, alter, or adjust presentations utilizing a variety of digital or multimedia or web-based technologies, just like what we're doing tonight. Design and produce digital multimedia content for web-based projects. And also over on the left, also students have an opportunity to be able to have some Adobe Cloud courses such as Photoshop, Illustrator, Dreamweaver, Premiere Pro, Animation, and Audition there. All right, next slide. So here is just a snapshot of the completion of the programming here through the industry certification program, Adobe certification there in video design, visual design, and web design. Next slide. And here, I added this here just to kind of pull everything together. As I mentioned earlier, it's really about moving from teaching our students how to use programming to where when they leave this programming and then take advantage of the Village Center opportunity of being able to put some of their technological skills into some of the career-themed trades, they'll have that strong background for that. Next slide. And as you see this final slide here that I'm sharing with you all, this is just an example of some of the opportunities that these students could take advantage of. So you see here the IT computer technology program in the medical academies or CDL or construction trades. There are jobs that are connected to infusing technology through this pathway for our students. Next slide. So as I end the update for Village Academy, again, the excitement is here. You guys probably cannot see my heart pounding. I just get all bubbly and giggly when I think about what is happening here. But I would like to just share that our next steps and our priorities include continuing with our Avid school-wide culture. That is so critical as students move into the next phase of their educational journey, that they understand the importance of being individually determined, as well as our providing professional development to our staff as they gain mastery of our new standards with depth and rigor, and of course solidifying equity and access. At Village Academy, as I mentioned, that we believe that all of our children will have an opportunity to be successful as they move through our continuation. And again, capitalizing on summer learning programs and also shaping out the portrait of a graduate, what that looks like between our teachers, students, communities, and stakeholders. Thank you all again for your time tonight, and thank you for supporting Village Academy.
Wow. That's all I have to say. That was a lot.
It was a lot. Thank you.
And that was so good. That was so good. So let's just take a moment. Let's see if we have any questions in the chat. I don't see any. Well, let me ask a couple questions. How about that? Or just a little follow-up. Ms. Dixon.
Sure.
My best bud. Like
You've been great, Dr. Robinson. Thank you.
Well, and Ashley, you know what? While I'm thinking about it, thinking of people to thank, let me take a moment and thank Dr. Craig Summer too.
Yes.
He's instructional superintendent's the right title, right? So
yes,
yeah, because he's been very supportive in helping us think through some of the roadblocks, even if they're only in our minds, right? So, but that's good. So, I am really just so very proud, and I'm particularly proud of those slides that showed that back mapping. That just made me all happy when I saw the AMP2 and AMP3. And I don't know if people know what that means, but the AMP is Accelerated Math Program. And so what Ms. Dixon and her team are doing here is trying to set this up so that every child is on their path just to march through it with this rigor and this excellence, so that they can truly step into these rigorous programs. Specifically, we've been focused on the computer science program, right? Which really takes some significant math skills. And so just so that the audience knows, this computer science program that is being developed at Village Academy will compete with computer science at Suncoast, with John I. Leonard, with the cybersecurity program at West Boca. And how about this? We also visited Dunbar High School, which is a tech high school in Fort Myers, and we're going to reproduce, not steal, right? Reproduce some of their best. And so I'm just really excited, and I thank you, Miss Dixon, for painting the picture. And she knows. I'll just throw this in too while while I'm rambling on in happiness here. So some years ago, I told Miss Dixon she had to paint the picture of what she wanted Village to be. And I think I described it as one of those outlines is to paint by numbers, right? And that's what she's done. And what you're going to hear is us talking about how we are painting in some of the colors. I'm painting the crimson. Okay, you can paint the pink, but okay, I'm gonna just say that. And then we'll get other people. There's gonna be some colors for the community to paint in as well when we get to the end of this. So yeah, thank you, Miss Dixon. I don't see any questions. Thank you, Leah, for your comments. It's just
Can I just add, Dr.
Yes.
Let me just add, as you mentioned about the AMP program, but I kind of take it back to our school's vision and mission statement that says that we believe that our students are curious, they're capable, and they're full of potential. I think, as we approach the work for Village Academy and the Village Center, I think this is the place where all students will have access and opportunity, and we're moving it in towards that direction. There are more ways to be accelerated other than mathematics, but truly, it is a start for our students, and it's not the end. But what I want to add is that the support system is live and present at Village Academy. And I want to say to the listeners that are there and to our school district that saw this vision probably before we began to talk about rigor and acceleration and all of that, the foundation is there. And I'm just overwhelmed with the excitement to be able to really start moving the dirt or moving the train, moving towards the North Star and really providing what's best for our students. So it's excited. I'm excited. The faculty is excited as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so you triggered a couple comments, and then we'll move on. So it won't be the
Sure.
LaToya and Debbie conversation, but let me just say this. So, but it's more than opportunity, right? Because at every school, children have opportunity. Right. What you're doing at Village is removing the barriers to rigorous education and success, and talking about moving them higher and supporting them as they reach higher, right? And making it the norm. It's not just opportunity. It's like what you do. Like this is how we roll at Village, is to reach these high academic benchmarks. And one of the examples is, since you mentioned, that you can have acceleration in ways other than math, is your move to get all the children taking the ACE general papers. That's
right.
For those who don't know, is basically like a college level course. And Ms. Dixon is working to make that just what you do at 9th grade, just what you do, right? And so, I mean, that's exciting. I think, I won't cry, but we will we will take this show on the road, right, and brag and show others how it can be done. But first, we have to finish painting in all the colors. So, yes. But thank you, Ms. Dixon, for that outstanding presentation. Okay, I see a question in here that is about the facilities, and so I think actually what I would like to do is, well, actually, do you want to take that, Ms. Dixon, or wait until we get to the facilities conversation?
This is a specific, I'll answer it very quickly. It's what can we do to get more upkeep of the current grounds, pressure cleaning, paint, and etc. So that is a project, if I'm using the term right, maybe a capital project, and support that is something that I would say that is needed. Sometimes equipment that is beyond what is housed at the school facility can provide. So this, I think, to answer your question, Mr. Bennett, can be done by putting in a request with our maintenance and facilities department at the school district. Village opened in 2020 and we added a grade level every year. So it's been almost 22 years later. So it's probably about that time.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay, so let's go on to the next part of the conversation. And this is the overlap. So you will recall that I talked about the model, copying after Atlantic Tech, where you can have 9 through 12, you can have 11, 12, and then adults. And so the plan is, so in this new building that you will hear about shortly, there'll be construction trades. So HVAC will be consistent, and then there's flex space so that the other construction trades, based upon the demand in the community, we can rotate that training. And then, originally we thought that this new building would be the high tech building, but we kind of, acquiesced because of the construction trades. We needed to make sure people had the opportunity to learn those skills. And so the technology program, even though you'll see that there's some tech labs inside the new building, some of that tech program will move into the high school, the existing high school building. And you will see later that one of the things we need to do is upgrade the tech in that building. So we'll need your help on that. So thank you. Let's move on. Do we have the Director of Adult and Community Ed on?
Yes, Dr. Robinson, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yay. Okay. Mr. Bart, it's your show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Robinson. Very exciting stuff with Village Academy and some of the great programming they have there. What I'm going to talk to you a little bit about right now is the Delray Full Service Adult Education Center, which has been at the site for close to 20 years, serving about 8 to 10,000 students over that time period. It's one of the it is the only day school for adults in South Palm Beach County. So it is a facility where we work with students to help achieve their high school diploma, learn English, and also job training opportunities. Next slide. So the current career and technical education programs that we have, this has kind of changed because we've tried to continue to build bigger and better programs as we move forward. Our programs are set up to allow adults who are in their second and third chance at education to try to come back, get their high school diploma, or learn English skills as they are learning a trade. So this is actually a big state initiative. Rather than just do GED instruction or English language learning, you combine it with a skill. So we started off with home health aid. We expanded to phlebotomy, EKG. We now have health unit coordinator coming online in January, and also medical lab assisting. So the unique thing about these programs is we charge a few $100s, and that's basically required by the state of Florida that we must charge tuition, although CareerSource helps out with tuition in many cases. But if you go up the road just a few miles to some of the private technical schools, they charge several $1,000s, and they have hundreds of students attending those programs. So we're trying to find a niche there to provide these programs at a significant reduction over the private schools, and also helping the students to either learn English or move towards their high school diploma. Next slide, please. So this is a neat picture. I love this picture because this was our first graduating class of post-secondary adult students. And again, these students faced many challenges along the way. They decided to come back and pursue a high school diploma or learn English. And they were so proud. We had their parents in the audience crying when they received their certificates. So we have them in full scrubs in their medical programs, and we put them into clinicals where they could work alongside nurses and doctors in offices or at hospitals. And the idea is to give them that exposure to help them move to the next level. And we always encourage our students to either come back for more certifications and eventually to go on to Palm Beach State to continue their education and continue advancing. So these are really exciting programs that help our students in many ways. Next slide, please. So potential future programming, what we have on the books as potential future programs is cosmetology. And right now we don't have any other cosmetology programs in South Palm Beach County serving Boca and Delray. This is going to be an opportunity for people to get into this field. And all of these fields are pretty much fields that you can actually begin your own business. So we want to tie in entrepreneurial skills in there as well. We plan on moving towards medical assisting and medical records. And you heard Dr. Robinson say about the multi-trade lab. This is really exciting. I visited the top electrical lab in the country and took a bunch of pictures of it. And I think this lab where we do HVAC, electrical, and do some cross training in those areas, as well as plumbing, which all ties in very nicely. I think we will have national recognition on this lab based on what the facility is going to do and the programming that we're going to put in there. I think it's a very unique opportunity. And all of these trades, again, provide opportunities where you learn about the trade. Once you work through the trade a bit, you can really open your own business and move and be an entrepreneur, owning your own business, which could lead to very high wages. Commercial vehicle driving. This is something that we've already experienced or we've experimented with in the county. We are basically we've run it in the past. We are trying to bring it back under our own ownership, if you will, because in the past we subcontracted. It is the most expensive program for us to get into, but there is no program that we offer in adult education that can move someone from being unemployed to making a very good living in 8 to 10, 12 weeks max. So it is something that you don't need a whole lot of background in. You don't have to have any experience in driving trucks. And within 8 to 10 weeks, you're going to be able to get a job paying a very competitive salary. And, after 3 years experience, that's the big thing. 3 years experience, that's when your insurance drops, providing you don't have any accidents. You can make over $100,000 easily. Walmart hires at 98 starting salary for over-the-road trucking. And there's also a lot of opportunities for day trucking as well, where you can leave in the morning and be back at night. Also some high-tech labs for potential advanced manufacturing and a variety of other classes, which we can tie into some of the things that Village is doing to do some expansion on that. Next slide, please. So this is the 2,500 square foot multi-trades construction lab, which I know in the next presenter will be talking more in detail. But HVAC is one of the highest needs in Palm Beach County. And it is one of those jobs, again, that once you're trained, you could go out on your own and start working on your own after a short period of time. So this is an exciting program with electrical, which ties very nicely. The electrical components could be around the perimeter of the room, along with the HVAC and lab space in the middle to be able to eventually transition to plumbing as well. This is just great. This is a great opportunity for us to train our adults in trades that will really provide a return for them and their family. And we know this because we run these programs at West Technical Education Center, North Technical Education Center, and at North Tech, all of our programs are over capacity. So this is really exciting to be able to bring these trades to South Palm Beach County to serve the Southern community. Next slide, please. And I think we're moving on.
Thank you.
Back to you, Dr. Robinson.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Birch. We have one question for you. Yeah. It looks like the question was really about how much are we asking students to pay for their programming, like for the home health aid training?
Okay, for home health aid training, I don't have that information right in front of me, but I think it's around $500 or $600. And if the student is not making a lot of money currently, we could get career source funding for the students. And I can tell you right out, like if you ever go to Florida, I hate to say names, a private college right up the street, there are a lot of students that go to that school. We've actually sent people there to register as kind of undercover, basically, to find out how it works. And if you get a loan application and it's approved, you're into the program. That same program, home health aid, students are paying thousands of dollars for that exact same program at a private school. So we're not focusing on the home health aid. We provide that to help students move along in their English language learning. If they're getting a GED or high school diploma, we want to move them in that direction to enter the healthcare field. So it is a beginning, it's not an end.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for saying that for me. You know, I wanted to hear that like one more time, right? So let's see, we have comments in the chat that I'm not sure how you framed it, Mr. Barsh, but the note's been made that South Tech does have a cosmetology program. And so Ms. Trumbull Thomas asked a couple questions about, will all of these be available during the day? Will they also be available at night?
Yes,
and will
we do
deferred diploma students be able to attend these programs? Great question.
Okay, so the first question, does South Tech offer that program? They only offer that program to K-12 students that are in their program, high school students that are
so not adult ed, not returning learners.
Okay. Right, not any returning learners. So that would not pertain to our students. It also, I think there's a way to be able to bring in high school students if they're interested into that air space as well. And I'm trying to look for those questions, Dr. Robinson. Can you help me out with that?
Will these programs be available during the day and night?
And night. Delray has never had an evening program, but we plan on opening evening programs there.
Okay, yes. Thank you. And will deferred diploma students be able to attend these programs?
Okay, when you say deferred diploma students, are you talking about high school students, or I guess that?
I suspect that she's asking if you haven't earned your standard diploma at this point, are you able to attend?
There are a few programs that require you to have a high school diploma, and I do not think that this is one. We would encourage them to get their high school diploma. If you're saying that they stopped their K-12 instruction,
no. She clarified. Let me clarify. She clarified that she meant students who are age 18 to 22 with the IEP, so special needs students.
Yes. As a matter of fact, we do the exact same thing. We provide all the additional needs that are necessary for students who need extra help.
Okay, so we're going to move on. Kristen Cox, South Tech is not West Tech. West Tech is West Tech out in Belglade. South Tech is a charter school that's housed currently in the old Odyssey building. Okay, so we're going to move on to the facilities. Yay. And so let's start with Mr. Dave Dolan, our Deputy Chief of Facilities Management.
Good evening, Dr. Robinson, and good evening, everyone. It's a very exciting time for me here at the district. I've had some great joy in working with both Ms. Dixon and Mr. Barch and Mr. Killeen on the programs for Village Center right now. And one of the things that I always want to stress is that the amount of work that goes into these projects, it's completely a team effort. Clint Natick and I are kind of leading the charge from the district perspective. But at this point, I really want to turn the show over to the real star for us, because right now we're in a very exciting time. Construction is starting up this month. In fact, in short order, you will be seeing some demolition. Our contractor, Roebling Architecture and Construction, Brian Allen is with us. But going forward, I'd like to introduce you to the star for our team, Miss Tamara Peacock. She's the architect for Tamara Peacock Company Architects. Welcome, Tamara.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Like you, it's an exciting time because we're permitted. We're starting construction. They've started some of the demo. And I think the only more exciting time will be when we actually have the thing, the whole building and project completed, and we get to, go walk through it. But right now, we've just been, visioning this in our heads, and, in the computers give us 3D models and stuff. So I'm really excited to show you where we're at. We can go to the first slide of the site plan. And as you may remember, we are keeping 12, 1, and 2. Those buildings are not being demolished, but the gray everything that's in gray there is going to be demolished. So that kind of gives you an idea. And then the gym is scheduled to get a major renovation. So next slide. So this is showing you the location of the new building, which is 20,000 square feet. And the demolished buildings that will be that are hatched there show you the future parking areas. So you can see that with we're also showing the modulars, and then we're allowing for that'll be green space, but where the buildings are shown now, it says future parking. And so that gives you an idea of the configuration of the site. It'll kind of be like a green courtyard area when we get everything done. So the renovated gym will serve as a multi-purpose cultural arts building, and it'll accommodate testing classes and have community use, and it'll have a historic display. So you can let's go to the next one. So this is the ground floor plan of the new building. And as Fred had mentioned, it shows the construction lab. And it's positioned next to the language lab, but it's connected by a doorway so that that it's set up for that flexibility. Like we said, we'll go from HVAC to electrical to plumbing. And then it's got a computer lab across the hall, an administration area. And then let's go to the second floor. So those are health science labs, also the language lab, the GED, and another computer lab. So this is a brand new, beautiful building. Let's go to the next one. You can see the rendering, and we were so excited about the architecture, and I love when the principal was talking about what this means to the kids and how it affects the community. So this building, I think will be a wonderful, creative, contemporary image. I mean, it relates to the existing school. It complements the architecture, but it's much more contemporary, and the edges are, the parapet is going to create a skyline at the top, and so you have this continuous walkway that wraps around and takes you to where the modulars are. Let's go to the next one. This is a floor plan of the renovated gymnasium, and it was quite challenging for us to get it all worked out with the the floor is quite damaged with the wood flooring, but we're going to be able to save the tiger emblem, which is really important. It'll be part of the historic display. And then we're going to end up with a totally concrete foundation. So that will all be redone. But you can see the functions that are in there on this plan. The interpretive room is like at the entrance where you come in. We still have where we added the patios to the front entrance and steps and handicap access. We also have handicap access to the stage now. And then you see towards the back the language labs and the testing lab. But the testing lab has an entrance from that front. It has its own separate entrance. So it can be functioning if the rest of the building is closed. The historic room could be used for meetings and stuff and have that front door open. So it has a lot of flexibility. in the floor plan. So this is a site plan. It's a blown up site plan showing the modulars that we've added. We wanted to get the classroom count up, and that has the 2 cosmetology labs. It has a career source modular, 2 computer labs, and 3 language labs. So you can see we have a lot of language labs. So these also are connected by that walkway that you saw across the front. So it's all linked together. Yeah, and this is a rendering of the new gymnasium. Well, I say new, but it's historic, but I mean the newly renovated. And you can see how it creates almost like a community space on the front of the building. And we're just so excited to be able to visualize what this is going to look like in the future, because this is going to be a very great addition to the community. It'll be like a place that people gather and come together as a community. And I think it's going to be so important to the neighborhood there. These are renderings of the interior. And so you can see the new flooring, the renovated stage area, the high ceiling space. It will have all new lighting. So it will really look new inside. So this is depicting the schedule, and like I said, we're so happy. Actually, getting under construction is just a wonderful effort of the construction people, and I have to really compliment the construction team and how everyone has worked together to do all these pricing up front and scheduling, and so it's just a great thing for it to come together and us to get going with this, and then. We're going to begin the construction of the new building and the gym next month. Substantial completion is scheduled for November 2022. Furniture move-in occupancy December 2022, and the classes are January 2023. So there we go, and I just can't wait to see it. I'll tell you.
Well, thank you. I can't wait to see it either. I'm not quite sure if I want to cry or scream. I don't know. It's just all good. I'm looking for any questions in the chat. I have a couple questions while we see if the community members have any. So on that construction space in the new building, because I couldn't really tell, is there one of those doors that if they decided to build a mini house or whatever, they
Yeah,
could open it up?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a separate access way in the back of the building. It's kind of down where the title first floor plan is, right there. See, that's the door. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that goes out it has an access drive that goes out to the road.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that. And then my other question is, for all these spaces, both in this new building and also I see it at the gym that are labeled GED or ESOL, kind of the old school adult ed programs. Those are actually classroom spaces, right? I mean, is there something
Exactly.
special about the facility that it is created for GED or ESOL?
No, and Fred may add to that, but it's a basic classroom space. Yeah.
Okay.
So as demand comes and goes, they can adjust that and use it. That's correct, right, Fred?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then the information technology space, then I assume it has more tech stuff. This is not my world, right? So more tech stuff than the regular classrooms. Correct? Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So thank you for that. So I see a question about the process of the rental of the gym. So traditionally what happens is there will be an assistant principal. I don't know if there'll be an adult ed assistant principal or part of Village Academy but there'll be an assistant principal who will manage that. And our leases have a standardized format throughout the district. You can actually go online and see all those rules and regulations and fees and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, we look forward to family reunions and, you know, the class of whatever year and so forth, meeting and having great events in that gym. So yeah, so thank you for that. So now let's go on to the big wish list. So, what's the capacity of the gym? Anybody know that answer?
Well, I know for assembly code, we do it it's like 5 square feet per person. So I think you could do 200 people in that gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, let me just give it a pause and see if anybody put some more questions in before I move forward. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to the big wish list. Now, you know, as part of this whole process, we just had the nerve to dream big, right? And so we dreamed of all these things that we wanted the residents of the set to have access to, right? And you'll see this, the Adult Ed Center, Wellness Center, the sports complex, and then they actually, in the multi-purpose center on the next slide, and they outlined all the components of this, which would include an amphitheater, auditorium, basketball court, dance studio, exercise trail, fitness center, football field, and then moving on, the locker rooms, meeting rooms, soccer field, swimming pool, track, volleyball, walking track, and a drop-in teen center. So you will see on these slides where, as part of a multi-entity series of meetings, we kind of assigned the different items to different entities. And we will hear now from the mayor of the city of Delray Beach on the parts that were assigned to the city, if you will, Catherine Strong Park, and also the plans for buildings 1, 2, and 12.
Hi, everyone. And I want to first and foremost say thank you so much to Dr. Robinson for these meetings that have been ongoing for many, many years. And this is a great opportunity to speak about obviously Village Center and the Full Service Center specifically. So for as long as I've been a mayor, or the mayor of Delray Beach, and even before, there was so much interest in and also debate, I would say, in what should happen on the campus and where we should go. And I certainly appreciate the time to be able to speak with everyone on behalf of the city, albeit I have to tell you that we have not taken any formal votes or made any formal agreements at this point in time. So I'm a little limited in what I can and can't say. I really kind of came here with the idea of explaining where we were before, some milestones of our timeline of events and how we got to this point, and some of the building blocks that guaranteed success in the past in working hand in hand with the Palm Beach County School District. We began back in 1989 with a Sharing for Excellence in Schools plan that we had as an agreement with the Palm Beach County School District. And that laid out a groundwork back at that time where we had some issues that the city was facing in the schools. We were looking to try to achieve better racial balance, and we had negative perceptions of our schools. We also were overly divided in our school districts, and we didn't have adequate funding. So the school district accepted the findings that we had and agreed to work cooperatively with the city and address the issues. And an action plan for each of those schools in our city was addressed in order to be able to address their issues that were maybe different from one school to the next. In 1990, that was basically in 89. 1994, we had some updates to that same plan. And then in 1998, we had the school district enter into agreement with Palm Beach State College. And I probably really wish that I had started talking first, because it kind of lays the foundation of a lot of the parts that are coming together right now on the campus for Village Center. So in 1998, the school district entered into an agreement with Palm Beach State College transferring all the adult career and technical education to the college, excluding ESOL and GED programming. In 1998 through 2017, no adult CTE programming was done by the school district, from what I understand, and it was pretty much covered elsewise, with the college basically taking care of that. In 2008, the Sharing for Excellence in School program plan had substantially been completed. So everybody did their job, and the city of Delray Beach contributed about $8 million to that plan over the 14 years that it took to get to that substantially completed point. In 2017, now we're getting to the present time, a series of community meetings at the Full Service Center were presented by Dr. Robinson. Thank you so much for doing that, to discuss the adult CTE opportunities and the future of the Full Service campus. In 2018, Janet Meeks, our director for education in Delray Beach, attempted to try to get a new plan underway for Delray Beach. Unfortunately, there were a lot of extenuating circumstances. Nothing really came about. And that's one of the reasons why I can sit here and say that we don't have any, votes that have promoted some of the things that I know that are on the list of things for the city to do. July of 2020, the school district of Palm Beach County and the Palm Beach State College entered into a new partnership, a collaborative effort to deliver the adult CTE programming in Palm Beach County. So that there was about 17 years, I want to say, or something like that, where there was nothing happening with the district, the school district, but Palm Beach State was really doing that programming. So now we have that opportunity of coming in and working together. And again, I thank Dr. Robinson for bringing all of this forward to where we are able to really actually affect change. So at this stage, I'm really excited. I have to tell you, and listening to all of the speakers before, I'm extremely excited in hearing what Principal Dixon is doing. I was just shocked, and I know that I saw you, Dr. Robinson, very giddy as I was with the amazing programs that are being produced out of Village Academy. I feel like she's the tiger mama, and it's appropriate because that's their mascot. So we're really excited as a city of all the great things that are happening on the Village Center campus. We are now at a point where we've got to come together as a commission and determine what part of this we're going to involve ourselves in, and how can we bring to Village Center the things that the community is asking for. We obviously know that there are some historically sensitive buildings. We have a preservation board that is willing to step up and has already promised to step up to figure out ways to be able to bring them up to date and work on the interior of those. I think that there's going to be some opportunities for grants. However, there is a need also to try to figure out how we can give them that opportunity to get those grants. Unfortunately, they can't get grants on buildings that they don't own, obviously. So there is some legal issues on how to get that done without necessarily I don't know how to do that, but transformation of property. So there are some technical issues that we have to get through in order to be able to get the money to rehab those buildings. And that's and that's the old one, I should say, because I know there's another new building one, but we have an older building which has a tremendous amount of history, 1, 2, and 12. And 1 and 12 are really the most historically sensitive that we want to make sure that we hold on to, and are making sure that history doesn't disappear, because one of the big factors from the community is to hold on to and preserve the history of those Carver buildings. The city also will need to discuss, and again, this is something that we have had discussions before, but we've never made any formal votes on, with respect to those athletic fields that have been a goal of the community as well. So that's something that we need to speak to. And also just, any of the other future needs of our community, from the community's leadership, what they're looking for us to participate in. Tomorrow, we have a city commission workshop where we have our education director presenting to us. And I'm sure there's going to be some information included on the full service center. And the other way that I'm looking at this is that there is a constant and ever-changing environment that we're living in. And we in the city also, want to make sure that whatever we're doing this in a holistic fashion that truly looks out for what's in the best interest of the future of these grounds and what we're putting into it, so that we don't miss that opportunity that is just around the corner. So that's what I have to bring to the table today. I know it's probably lackluster when I consider some of the previous speakers and all that they brought to the table, especially when it comes to the design and what things can look like on that campus. It's very exciting. So with that, Dr. Robinson, I'm going to turn it back to you, and hopefully we can update this part of the information after we speak with the city manager and have the even the workshop as early as tomorrow. Like I said, it was a little premature for us, and we have been a city on the move and on the change. But again, I think that we have a different focus now, and we're ready to put the efforts into making sure that this comes to fruition for the campus and for the community as a whole. And again, thank you so much, Dr. Robinson, for all that you've done to bring us to this point.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and thank you for working with us. Now, did you say that there's a workshop tomorrow and you're going to be discussing Village Center?
Well, I would presume that there's going to be, it's about our education just in general. So I presume that there's going to be some discussion about that. So I would say tune in, because
what time is that?
That would be at 3:30 is when our workshop begins tomorrow.
Great. Well, thank
and
you.
it is
Thank you for that.
televised. You got it.
Okay, thank you. So just for me to kind of summarize, so you brought up that really painful period of time when prior to me being on the school board, they just gave away career and technical education. And so, as you said, we now have a good working relationship with Palm Beach State, and we're working it out, right? And so,
Yep.
and actually, Palm Beach State is potentially a partner. I'm gonna claim it. Palm Beach State is a partner in Village Center. We have like big dreams. We're talking about dual enrollment classes on campus. I mean, we're just gonna work it out. And so what I have on my list for the city, as you know, is for us to figure out how Village Academy gets an outdoor practice field, right, for the football team. And that was penciled in to be at Catherine Strong. And I think that your lawyers are talking to our lawyers, and people are talking
Right.
about trying to figure out how to work with buildings 1, 2, and 12. I hope that when those buildings, when they come to new life, that they will include a medical clinic. And I'll be happy to help with whatever relationships I have to try to help make that come true. And also, while I'm thinking about it, I want to thank City Commissioner Ryan Boylston, who has been a champion publicly and privately for trying to help move this work forward. So let me see a couple questions here. So there was a question about, are the historical and cultural components fully funded and operated by the district? And then the answer from our chief operating officer was project funding includes these spaces, including display cases. Okay, so I think that was talking about the preservation of the gym. And so if I'm wrong, somebody needs to text me and tell me. So, okay. And then we have a question, or actually a suggestion about using the buildings for nonprofit office space, which may or may not be in the future. We've heard that idea before, and I certainly don't object. And then it says turn the cafeteria into a kitchen space for local residents or have a training kitchen. At this point, the cafeteria is coming down. We will preserve the gymnasium, but the cafeteria is coming down. What gets rebuilt in that space? Let's dream that dream too. So anyway, but thank you, Mayor.
Thank you
And
so
I
much.
will
And thank
tune
you.
into your workshop. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right. Very good.
Thank you. So moving on. So now let's talk about the next phase. So this is my little bit of a brain dump here in terms of what we need to do next for academics. So some of this work got disrupted by the pandemic. So Principal Dixon had created a tech advisory committee, um, and had representatives not only from the city and the business community, but from Palm Beach State. So I think we'll have to reinstate that tech advisory committee, and with some specific ways for them to assist, including reviewing the curriculum, because I certainly don't know what they're talking about when they start using all those tech terms. Then also to help us recruit second career teachers. One of the things that really sticks in my mind is when we visited the Tech High School, Dunbar High School in Fort Myers, their teacher who taught cybersecurity used to work for the NSA. And that just blew me away. I would love to have him or somebody with his experience there teaching cyber at Village Academy. So the question is, how do we get these second career teachers, right? And I think people in the industry can help us. To have the Tech Advisory Committee review the high school facility and recommend whatever necessary upgrades need to be made in order to have this tech program, and also just straight help us with fundraising for the program. Principal Dixon also created her Construction Trades Advisory Committee, which I think met twice before the pandemic. And so we'll have to reinstate that, right? So we want them to help with curriculum, help recruit second career teachers, as well as help us with fundraising and creating partnerships for the young people. So, I also made up in my magical way of thinking that I want to expand those medical programs into blended pre-professional programs. When I say blended, I mean for high school students and for the adult students, right? But pre-professional programs, because, you know, we should have programs that prepare students and connect them to be podiatrists in the future, chiropractors in the future. Maybe we could connect with Palm Beach State and have dental hygienists. I don't know. And guess what? If they want to go on to medical school, fantastic. You're ready, go, right? But not to the point of the question raised by Kristen. This is not. We're not working to give people skills to work in low wage jobs. That is not our goal. That might be a starting point, but that's not the goal. Because remember, we had the high wage, high demand. That's what we're going after. So we have developed the CDL program. Mr. Barch referenced that. And he also referenced entrepreneurship. So we need to make sure that entrepreneurship is embedded across all of these programs. And then we also, this actually I think was Principal Dixon's idea, to develop specific curriculum options that would take our tech kids, our computer science kids, and connect them to CDL, transportation and logistics, or connect their technology skills to construction, connected to the medical field. Like the sky's the limit, right? But to take our young people who've gotten these skills and connect them to industries that are being developed and trained on our campus. So that's my magical way of thinking. Next slide. So here's the ask for the community, and I'll check for questions in a second. So community members, we need you, right? We need you to create a village center community support plan. We need you to recruit students. Now, I have on here participate in the SAC. I understand that you already have kind of taken over the SAC, so I should have crossed that off, but thank you for that, right? To help with marketing and possibly even create a village center or village academy foundation for fundraising purposes. So that's it. So the question is, are we on the right path? And while I look for your comments in the chat, let me also take a moment to thank Mr. John Shoemaker, who is the wizard behind all this, who's bringing us in and out, moving the slides and checking the chat and all that stuff that like overwhelms me. So thank you, Mr. Shoemaker, for making this happen and making us look good. So let's see if we have questions. Okay, so thank you for the affirmation about dental, Mr. Bennett. Okay. And I don't see any other questions. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm going to give it another second. So, Mr. Shoemaker, can you bring our fabulous educational leader, Ms. Dixon, back on so she can say some closing comments for us?
Wow. Well, again, I can't express my gratitude and, just the privilege of being the principal of such a special, unique school. And I say that not in the form of pity, but in the form of excitement. It is. Wow, it is a labor of love and just something that I've always had a passion of as in regards to supporting students through their educational career. As I remember as a younger educator, just thinking elementary, but in this work, I have the opportunity to nurture children from the pre-kindergarten level all the way to the to college career and beyond. So I'm excited. This is a heavy lift. We've done a lot of work together between city, community, district leadership, and I just want to say the best is yet to come. And I welcome the support and the continued collaboration around what's best for our children in Palm Beach County.
Thank you, Ms. Dixon. Well, I tell you, one thing I hear repeatedly in the community is you have our children and we got your back. So let's just go rock this thing, okay? So let's have the nerve to dream some more big dreams. While we're making these come true, we can go on and start painting the next picture, okay? Because the children deserve it, the community deserves it. So checking the chat one more time. Thank you, Ms. Walker, for letting us know we're on the correct path. Okay, and the note taken that village has no field for the students to practice on, which is why we'll circle back with the city. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for being an active participant in making this renewed vision. Because I know, as I showed at the beginning, we're standing on the shoulders of many. So we're just trying to do our part and move it forward. So thank you for helping us with that, calling us on it when we need to be called on it, and supporting us in whatever way you can. So thank you, everyone. And thank you for coming to the 2021 Village Center Community Update. Whoop, whoop. Thank you.